Hi there! Welcome back to this exciting tapestry bag project. If you've just landed on this video and aren't sure where to start, I recommend watching the video where we go over how to make the magic ring. That's the foundation for the entire piece. Then, check out the second video, where we cover rounds 1 through 5. Later on, in the following clips, we work on rounds 13 and 14, as well as rounds 23 and 24. And in the video right before this one, we finished round 32 of the base and started the first of the 10 rounds that go upward, stitch by stitch. So if you haven't seen any of those yet, now's a great time to catch up and then come back here to keep moving forward. Alright. Huge congratulations to those of you who've made it this far. Finishing the 32 rounds of the base and starting the vertical structure of the bag is no small feat. You're starting to see real progress, and that's exciting. If you haven't finished the base yet, don't worry. Everyone moves at their own pace. This is a project that takes patience and consistency, so take your time. Compare your work with what's shown in the video, but always remember, every piece is unique, and that's what makes it special. The most important thing is that you're enjoying the process. So keep going, stay motivated, and always remember our motto: do it yourself. Right now, we're finishing the first round of the 10 we'll be working through, stitch by stitch, before we start applying the tapestry design patterns. These rounds are important because they give the bag height and firmness before the visual shift of the design begins. It's a section that might feel repetitive, but it's perfect for practicing your yarn tension, keeping your stitches even, and especially for starting to see the structure of the bag take shape. In the previous video, we began using a different color precisely to mark this new phase of the project. Use this part to refine your stitches and enjoy the progress. In the previous video, we briefly talked about the concept of a pattern, but now we're going to go a bit deeper because it's essential for what's coming next. A tapestry crochet pattern is basically a visual guide that tells you which color to use for each stitch in order to create a design. It can be as simple as lines, triangles, or diamonds, or as complex as geometric shapes and animals. Most patterns are read like a grid, where each square represents one stitch and the color you need to use. In tapestry, we follow those squares as we crochet so that the design takes shape on the bag. So understanding how to read and interpret a pattern is key to making your design turn out right. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine a triangle pattern that takes up 5 stitches at the base, 3 on the second row, and 1 at the top. Visually, you'd see it as a pyramid made of squares on the chart. So when you're crocheting and reach that part of the pattern, you'll need to switch colors exactly on the stitches that match the chart. That means counting carefully, anticipating the color change before finishing the previous stitch, and keeping the design's placement in mind. At first, it might seem tricky, but with practice, it becomes automatic. And in the next videos, we'll apply one so you can see it all in action. It's really important not to move forward until you clearly understand how a pattern works. If something doesn't make sense now, it can be harder to fix later. You can practice on graph paper by drawing your own designs and coloring the stitches to get a clearer idea. You can also make small swatches before applying the pattern to the bag. And if you make a mistake, that's okay, you can always undo a few rounds and try again. What really matters here is learning. Make sure you fully grasp the concept, because we'll be using it throughout the entire upper part of the bag. Back to our project, we still have 9 more rounds to go, and we'll work them stitch by stitch. That means only using single crochet stitches, with no increases or extra color changes just yet. This part can feel like the calmest section of the project, since by now you've found your rhythm and feel more comfortable with the hook and yarn. Still, it's important to count your stitches on every round. You can use a stitch marker at the beginning of each round to know exactly where it starts and ends. That helps avoid confusion once you've got several rounds done. This small habit makes a big difference in keeping the shape even and consistent. Here's a tip that's helped me a lot. Try not to make your stitches too tight, but don't leave them too loose either. The goal is to keep your tension consistent throughout all the rounds. This is especially important in tapestry, because if you suddenly tighten up in one section and loosen up in another, the shape of the bag can become uneven. You can also check your work often by laying it flat on a table. If it looks straight, even, and without weird waves, you're on the right track. And if you need to fix something, no worries. We crochet to learn, not to get everything perfect on the first try. Let me give you a really helpful tip, just in case you run into a situation we've all experienced at some point. You're focused, in the flow, moving through round after round. And suddenly, something feels off. Maybe you miscounted a stitch, added an extra one, or changed colors at the wrong spot. And you think, now what? Don't worry, making mistakes in crochet is totally normal and part of the process. That's why this tip is so important. Learning how to undo your work properly can save your project and save you a lot of frustration. If the mistake is in the same round you're currently working on, all you need to do is pull out your hook and gently tug the yarn backward. The stitches will unravel one by one. You can go back to the point where everything looks correct, reinsert your hook, and keep going. This method is quick and safe when the error is still fresh. But if you realize the mistake a bit later, like 2 or 3 rounds afterward, the best thing to do is undo it round by round, marking the spot where you want to stop so you don't get lost. What I usually do is place a stitch marker right where I want to return, take out the hook, and start pulling the yarn slowly and calmly. Once I reach the marked point, I put the hook back in and continue from there. You can use stitch markers, safety pins, clips, or even a piece of yarn in a different color to mark where to start again. So if you've made it this far, bravo! Truly, I'm proud of you. You're making steady progress, step by step, and it really shows. Every stitch you make brings you closer to the final result, your finished tapestry bag, made with your own hands, at your own pace, in your own style. It doesn't matter if it took a few tries, if you made mistakes, or if you had to undo parts of your work. What matters is that you kept going, and that's already a huge accomplishment. Not everyone gives themselves the chance to learn something new and stick with it long enough to see it through. Now, in the next video, we're going to take a very exciting step. We're going to start the pattern that will bring the design of the crochet bag to life. Finally, we'll see how that flat, uniform fabric begins to transform into art, with color and shape. But to do it right, by the time we meet again in that video, you should have finished the 9 remaining rounds going upward. Remember, we already did the first one in the last 2 videos, and the ones left, though they might seem like a lot, are actually repetitive rounds. That's the good part. It'll help you build your rhythm, reinforce the base structure, and mentally prepare for what's next. Think of these 9 rounds as your training zone, where your tension, precision, and confidence all start to take shape. And speaking of the pattern, you already know we're about to introduce a new tapestry design. So make sure you have your colors ready. In the next video, I'll be following a specific combination, which of course you can copy if you like it. But if you have other colors in mind, or if you've got leftover yarn from another project you want to use, go for it. Remember, this project is personal. There's no single right way to do it. What matters is that you like it. That's the magic of crochet. Every project is unique, and every crocheter puts a little piece of themselves into every stitch. So, to sum it up, finish the remaining 9 rounds, get your colors ready, make sure you clearly understand what a pattern means, and come ready to start playing with the design. And if something isn't clear, you can always go back and watch the previous videos again. Repeat as much as you need. Learn at your own pace. What matters isn't speed, it's that you truly enjoy the process. As we always say around here, and I never get tired of repeating it because it's true, do it yourself. That's the motto that drives us. I'll see you in the next video so we can keep building this mochila together. Keep crocheting. And if this content has been helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit like, and leave me a comment telling me how your bag is coming along, if you've had any difficulties, or which part you've enjoyed the most. And please, share this video with someone else who wants to learn or who could use a good dose of creativity and calm. See you in the next video. Keep on crocheting.